Let's talk about confusion. Let's talk about that feeling you get when the woman in your life seems to be operating on a level you can't quite grasp. That feeling of unpredictability, the emotional storms that seem to come from a clear blue sky. You try to use logic, you try to find the solution, and it's like you're speaking a different language. You are. Today, we're going to talk about the 7 weaknesses of the feminine. But I want you to erase the word weakness from your mind. These are not flaws, they are not defects. They are emotional patterns. They are deep, primal wirings that, when you misunderstand them, create chaos, drama, and resentment. But when you, as a man, learn to understand them, when you learn to meet them with calm, grounded, masculine leadership, they become the very gateway to the deep trust, connection, and harmony you've been looking for. It's not because women are illogical. It's not because they are crazy. It's because, in many ways, they operate from a different and often far more powerful emotional frequency. And for a man who is grounded in logic and reason, navigating this frequency can feel like trying to build a house in the middle of an earthquake. This is a place for clarity. This is where we analyze relationships with intelligence, not with emotion, not with blame. My promise to you is that by the end of this conversation, you will stop reacting to her emotions and you will start leading with a calm, steady understanding. You will become the man who can stand in the center of the storm, unmovable, and by your very presence, bring calm to the wind. Now, before we unpack the first of these patterns, I want to be clear. This conversation we're having right now, this is just the starting line. These are the fundamentals. For those of you who are serious about mastering this, who want to move from just understanding these patterns to truly leading with a deep, unshakable core, I have a more advanced program that goes far deeper into emotional mastery and masculine leadership. This is the transformation from being a passenger in your relationships to being the driver. If you're ready to take that next step, I'll tell you how you can access that later. For now, let's begin. The first pattern, and the one that confuses men the most, is emotional sensitivity. You've seen this. You're talking about a problem, maybe something at work or a simple logistical issue, and you're focused on the solution. And you look over and she is upset, she's hurt, and your logical mind is spinning. Why are you emotional? This isn't an emotional problem. We just need to fix X, Y, and Z. You try to apply your problem solving mind to her feeling. You say, don't worry about it, or it's not a big deal, or here's what you need to do. And you watch, bewildered, as this only makes it worse. You have to understand, for many men, emotions are a signal that something is wrong and needs to be fixed. For the feminine, emotions are not a problem to be solved. They are a language to be spoken. They are the way the world is experienced. Where you see a spreadsheet, she sees a story. Where you see a logistical challenge, she feels the emotional impact of that challenge on the family, on the connection, on the future. This isn't a flaw. This is an evolutionary strength. It's the very intuition that creates deep social bonds and protects a family. But a man who doesn't understand this will constantly and accidentally invalidate her entire reality. By rushing to fix her, you are implicitly telling her your feeling is wrong, your experience is invalid. This is an act of emotional aggression, even when you mean well. The masculine response is not to fix, it's not to match her emotion and get upset yourself, and it's not to withdraw in frustration. The correct masculine response is to be the container, be the mountain, be the calm, steady presence that can absorb the emotion without being changed by it. Your strength isn't in stopping her tears, it's in your ability to be fully present with her tears without flinching. Your job is to listen, not to listen for the problem, but to listen for the feeling. And then you validate that feeling. You don't have to agree with it. Validation is not agreement, it is simply acknowledging her reality. I hear you. I understand that this is making you feel anxious. Tell me more about why that was so frustrating. You are the lighthouse. She is the storm. The lighthouse doesn't try to stop the waves. It just stands. It shines its light. And in the presence of that steady, unmovable strength, the storm passes. This is leadership. This deep emotional sensitivity leads directly to the second pattern, the need for attention. Now, men hear this and we immediately think vanity. We think high maintenance. We think she's fishing for compliments. I told you you were beautiful last week. What more do you want? We misunderstand this completely. When a woman needs attention, she is almost never asking for flattery. She is asking for presence. Because she experiences the world through an emotional and connective lens, neglect feels like emotional abandonment. It feels like death. You can be sitting right next to her on the sofa, but if you are scrolling on your phone, you are a million miles away. This emotional absence from the man she loves creates a void, an anxiety. Her need for attention is actually a question. Are you still here? Am I still important to you? Do you still see me? The average man mishandles this in two ways. He either gets annoyed and defensive, I'm right here, aren't I? What more do you want? Which just confirms her fear that he's emotionally checked out. Or he tries to buy his way out. He buys flowers or a gift as a substitute for his presence, hoping to placate her. This doesn't work because she wasn't asking for a thing. She was asking for you. The correct masculine response is focused presence. It is the most powerful gift you have, and it costs you nothing but your discipline. It means putting the phone down, turning your body toward her, making eye contact, and giving her 10 minutes of your undivided, non-sexual, non-problem solving focus. Ask her about her day, but don't just ask, how was your day? Ask, what was the best part of your day? Or what stressed you out today? Ask about her internal world. When you give her this pure, focused presence, you are filling her emotional cup. You are communicating without words. You are the most important thing to me right now. I see you. I am here. A woman who feels seen by her man is a woman who is calm, radiant, and supportive. A woman who feels invisible is a woman who will, consciously or not, create chaos just to get a signal that you are still there. Your presence is the antidote. And when that need for presence isn't met, when it's met with inconsistency, it triggers the third and very painful pattern, the fear of rejection. Because a woman is often more emotionally open and vulnerable, and because her sense of self is so tied to the health of her primary connection, the threat of rejection cuts deeper. For many men, if a relationship ends, it's a failure. It's painful. But our identity, our mission, our purpose often remains intact. For many women, the loss of the primary emotional bond can feel like the foundation of her entire world is crumbling. This isn't an exaggeration, it's a difference in emotional architecture. This is why consistency is one of the most attractive traits a man can possibly have. A man who is hot one day and cold the next, who is present one moment and distant and withdrawn the next, this man is terrifying to her. He is emotional chaos. He constantly triggers her fear of rejection. She can't relax. She can't feel safe. She can't be her open, feminine self because she's too busy bracing for the next time you pull away. Men misunderstand this constantly. We think being mysterious or unpredictable keeps her on her toes. We withdraw affection as a form of punishment during an argument. We go cold to try and regain control. This is a boy's tactic and it's poison to a relationship. You are not creating attraction, you are creating anxiety. And anxiety is not respect. It's not trust. The masculine response is unwavering consistency. This doesn't mean you are a robot, it means your character is a rock. Your yes means yes, and your no means no. You are the same man today as you were yesterday. When you are upset, you can communicate it calmly and clearly without threatening the foundation of the relationship. I am frustrated about what just happened, and I need some space to think. I am not leaving. We will talk about this in an hour. This is leadership. You are providing a safe, predictable container. This consistency is the ultimate act of reassurance. It tells her, you can be your full emotional self. You can be vulnerable. I am not going anywhere. When a woman feels that level of emotional safety with you, her fear of rejection melts away, and her loyalty becomes absolute. This need for consistency is really a desire for the fourth pattern, the desire for security. Let's be blunt. The moment a man hears she wants security, he thinks money. He thinks she's a gold digger. This is a shallow and often incorrect interpretation. Yes, financial security is part of the equation. It's practical, but it is the smallest part. The security she craves is emotional, psychological, and directional. A woman is biologically wired to seek a partner who represents stability. She is looking for a man who is a rock, not a leaf in the wind. And the ultimate symbol of this stability is a man's purpose. A man who has no direction, no mission, no plan for his life. This man is the definition of insecure. He is unpredictable. He is reactive. He makes decisions based on fleeting emotions or what's easiest, not based on a core set of principles. This is what triggers her anxiety. It's not that you aren't a millionaire, it's that you don't know where you're going. If you don't have a plan for your own life, how can she possibly trust you to be a stable partner in building a life together? Her intuition screams danger at a man who is adrift. The common male mistake is to either posture with money he doesn't have, or worse, to become aimless and lean on her for his drive, his motivation, and his direction. He becomes another child for her to manage, not a partner to build with. The true masculine response is purpose. You must have a mission. You must have a why that gets you out of bed in the morning, something bigger than just her or the relationship. It doesn't matter if you're a banker or a carpenter or an artist. What matters is that you are on your path. You have a vision for your life. You are leading yourself. This direction is her security. Your certainty about your own path is what allows her to relax and trust your leadership. A man on his mission is the most secure and attractive force on earth. She doesn't need you to have arrived at the destination. She just needs to know you are at the wheel and you know how to read the map. Now, when your purpose feels wobbly or when your communication is unclear, her mind will desperately try to fill in the blanks. This leads us to the fifth pattern, emotional overthinking. You've been here, you were 20 minutes late, you were quiet at dinner, your text was shorter than usual, and suddenly she is building an entire case against you. Are you mad at me? Are you losing interest? Are you talking to someone else? Did I do something wrong? To you, it's an exhausting leap of logic. You were just tired or traffic was bad. You dismiss her. You say, you're overthinking or that's ridiculous. You're being paranoid. And in that one moment, you make the problem 1,000 times worse. By dismissing her, you are not reassuring her. You are confirming her fear that something is being hidden. You're treating her intuition, which remember is her primary language, as a flaw. What you call overthinking is often her intuition trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. You are the one who left the pieces missing. Her mind is designed to sense subtle shifts in the emotional environment. When she feels a shift, your distant energy, your lack of clarity, her brain goes into overdrive trying to identify the threat. It's not paranoia, it's a symptom of her feeling your lack of clarity. The masculine response is not dismissal. It is proactive clarity. You must lead with transparency. You are the leader. It is your job to make the unknowns known. You close the loops before her anxiety has to. It is as simple as this. Hey, I'm going to be 20 minutes late. Traffic is terrible. I know I seem quiet tonight. I had a very difficult day at work, and I'm just processing. It has nothing to do with you. I'm glad I'm here with you. Boom. With 2 sentences, you have given her the one thing she needed, clarity. You have preempted the entire 3-hour emotional spiral. You haven't just fixed a problem, you have led. You have used your words to build security and trust. Stop blaming her for overthinking and start analyzing your own under-communicating. This clarity is a form of validation, which brings us to our 6th pattern, the craving for validation. This is another one-man mistake for neediness. I'm with her, isn't that enough? Why does she always need me to tell her she's smart or beautiful or capable? We treat validation as a finite resource, something to be given out sparingly, lest it lose its value. Or we think withholding it makes us seem more powerful. This is a profound misunderstanding. Validation is her emotional fuel. Think of it this way. A man's validation is often internal. He finishes a task, he builds the deck, he solves the problem, and he feels good. His value is confirmed by his action. A woman's validation is often relational. Her value is reflected back to her in the eyes of the people she cares about. This is not weakness. It is the very essence of a community-oriented, connective being. When you withhold validation, you are not making her stronger. You are starving her. A woman who feels unseen, unappreciated, and unacknowledged by her man will either wither Or she will go looking for that validation elsewhere, and she will find it. The wrong response is to withhold or to give cheap, empty flattery. Just saying, you look nice over and over has no impact. The masculine response is active, specific appreciation. It is seeing her. It's not just, you're a great mom. It's, I was watching you help our son with his homework. You were so patient and compassionate. I admire that about you. It's not thanks for dinner. It's, I know you had a long day, and the fact you still took the time to make this amazing meal for us, that means a lot to me. Thank you. See her effort. See her character. See her intention. This specific, genuine validation is what makes her blossom, as the old-fashioned term goes. It is the fuel that makes her want to give more to you, to the relationship, to the family. A man who learns to be a source of genuine validation becomes a source of incredible power and light in her life. And finally, we come to the most difficult, most challenging pattern of all. Number 7, the struggle with accountability. This is the one that destroys relationships. You're in a fight, logically, that you are right about the facts of the situation. You're trying to explain what happened. No, that's not what I said. I said this and then you said that. You're misremembering. And you watch as she gets more and more upset, defensive, and angry. She digs in. She cries. She accuses. She sees herself as the victim and you as the attacker. And you are left holding your precious facts completely and utterly alone. You have to understand this. When a woman is in a state of deep emotional hurt, her feeling is her reality. Emotion precedes reason. Your logical facts are irrelevant. By arguing the facts, you are not solving the conflict. You are just telling her, again, that her feeling is wrong. You are invalidating her. You are becoming the enemy. You will never win this fight. You cannot bring logic to an emotional war. The only way to win is to not play the game. The masculine response is the highest form of emotional leadership. You must be the first to model accountability. You must be the calm, unmovable center. You absorb the emotional impact without reacting. You validate the feeling before you ever discuss the facts. It looks like this. You take a breath, you lower your voice, and you say, I can see that what I did deeply hurt you. That was not my intention, and I am sorry for my part in this. I was short-tempered. That's it. You don't have to agree with her interpretation of events. You just have to own your 10%. You validate her feeling. I see you are hurt, and you own your action. I was short-tempered. Watch what happens. When she is no longer being attacked, when she feels heard and seen, her defenses will drop. The storm will subside. And only then, perhaps hours later, or even the next day when the emotional sea is calm, can you come back and say, can we talk about what happened yesterday? I want to understand your perspective better. You cannot demand accountability from her. You can only inspire it by your own unwavering example. This is the hardest work. It requires you to set aside your ego, your need to be right, in favor of a greater goal, harmony, and truth. These 7 patterns, they are not a woman's weaknesses. They are a map. They are an instruction manual for a different operating system, a system built on emotion, connection, intuition, and presence. This isn't about control. It's not about manipulation or superiority. It is about awareness. It is about harmony. It's about you as a man choosing to be the leader. Not a dictator, but a leader. A man who builds relationships based on stability and respect, not power struggles and emotional chaos. The world is full of men who react. Men who are slaves to their own anger, their own frustrations, and their own confusion. You can choose to be something different. You can choose to be the man who understands, the man who is calm, grounded, and steady, the man who can see the truth behind the emotion and lead with intelligence. True masculine leadership is not about winning the argument. It's about being the man who, by his very presence, makes the argument unnecessary. Pause. This conversation we just had, this is only the first step. If you found yourself nodding along, if you felt a sense of clarity you haven't felt before, then you are ready for the real work. This is just a small piece of the puzzle. For men who are truly ready to stop reacting and start leading, for men who want to master this calm, emotional intelligence in every area of their lives, I invite you to explore the full program. This is where we go from theory to practice. You'll find the link to learn more. Join the community of men who are growing stronger, not through force, but through understanding. Subscribe and comment below with your own moment of clarity. I read them all. Be the leader, not the reactor.